The scattering. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the ESS Hyperion, Earth's newest dreadnought, as the emergency alerts blared through every deck. The Coalition ships had appeared from nowhere, their weapons already charged. Humanity's first contact with advanced alien civilizations wasn't going as anyone had hoped. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Admiral Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. They're attempting to lock down our drive systems. Chen's jaw tightened. The Coalition had made their demands clear. Immediate surrender and technological regression, or extinction. They claimed humanity's rapid advancement threatened the stability of their carefully maintained galactic order. Earth's response had been equally clear: go to hell. Status of the evacuation fleet? Chen asked, her voice steady despite the situation. 70% of civilian ships have made the jump, Rodriguez answered. But the Coalition's quantum locks are spreading. We have maybe 10 minutes before FTL travel becomes impossible in this sector. Chen nodded, her mind racing through possibilities. The Coalition had proven far more advanced than Earth's intelligence suggested, but they'd made one critical mistake. They assumed humanity would play by their rules. Execute Protocol Diaspora, Chen ordered, activating ship-wide communications. All vessels, prepare for scattered jump sequence. Authorization, Chen, Alpha 70. Warning lights flashed across the bridge as the Hyperion's experimental drive core began to power up. Earth scientists had discovered something extraordinary while researching FTL travel, a way to ride the quantum wake of a collapsing drive system. It was dangerous, untested at this scale, and exactly what they needed. Coalition vessels are moving to surround us, Rodriguez reported. They're charging their primary weapons. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Let them come. Broadcast on all frequencies. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Fleet. You thought to find us primitive and unprepared. You thought we would bow before your technological superiority. Instead, you've given us exactly what we needed. A reason to spread our wings. The Hyperion's drive core reached critical levels, its energy signature becoming increasingly erratic. Coalition ships began backing away, their sensors no doubt warning them of the impending disaster. But it wasn't just a disaster, it was a door. All ships, execute jump now, Chen commanded. The Hyperion's drive collapsed in a carefully calculated sequence, creating a cascading quantum reaction that spread across the entire fleet. Coalition vessels scrambled to maintain their lock, but the effect was spreading too quickly. One by one, Earth's ships vanished. Not in their usual orderly FTL jumps, but in wild, unpredictable quantum leaps that sent them hurtling across vast distances. The Coalition's careful trap had become humanity's escape route. Drive collapse at 90%, the ship's AI reported calmly. Quantum wake expanding. Unable to predict destination coordinates. Chen gripped her command chair as reality itself seemed to bend around the Hyperion. Send final broadcast. To all scattered ships, remember who you are. Remember Earth. Grow strong in the shadows until the day we return. This isn't our surrender. It's our seeds spreading across the stars. The Hyperion vanished in a flash of quantum energy, leaving behind a very confused and increasingly concerned Coalition fleet. Their reports would speak of humanity's apparent self-destruction, of a primitive species choosing extinction over submission. But humanity hadn't chosen extinction. They had chosen to scatter, to hide, to grow stronger in the dark spaces between their enemy certainties. The Coalition would label Earth a quarantined war grave, convinced they'd witnessed the last gasp of a doomed species. They would spend the next century learning just how wrong they were. In the vast darkness between galaxies, the Hyperion emerged from its quantum leap. The ship's systems gradually recovered, sensors coming back online to reveal their position, and the positions of other scattered vessels, each heading in different directions, toward different galaxies. Damage report, Chen ordered, pulling herself up from her chair. Drive core is completely burnt out, Rodriguez reported, but that was expected. All essential systems are functional. We're picking up quantum echoes from at least 30 other ships, all on different vectors. Chen nodded, studying the tactical display. The scattering had worked better than they'd hoped. Earth's ships were now spreading out across multiple galaxies, each carrying with them the seeds of humanity's future and their revenge. Send one last encrypted burst to all ships we can reach, Chen ordered. Message reads, "The Coalition fought to clip our wings. Instead, they've taught us to fly. Grow strong. Stay hidden. When the time comes, we will find each other again." The message went out, carrying with it humanity's defiance and determination. The Coalition had intended to contain humanity within their own galaxy, to prevent what they saw as a dangerous expansion. Instead, they had scattered humanity's seeds across the stars, each one carrying the potential for something extraordinary. As the Hyperion's engines powered up for conventional travel, Shan allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The Coalition would celebrate their victory, convinced they had dealt with the human problem. They would return to their careful political games and technological stagnation, secure in their superiority. But humanity had never been good at staying down. Each scattered ship carried with it Earth's best and brightest, along with databases of human knowledge and technology. They would find new homes, build in secret, and prepare for the day when humanity would reveal its true strength. The scattering wasn't an end. It was a beginning. Seeds of resistance. 50 years after the scattering, Dr. Maya Patel stood in her primitive laboratory on the colony world of Haven, carefully maintaining the appearance of struggling with basic particle physics. The Arcturian observer hovering over her shoulder clicked its mandibles, and what she had learned was an expression of benign condescension. "No, no, dear human," the observer, whose name translated roughly to first scholar of lesser species, chittered. "You're still thinking in terms of traditional particle interaction. The quantum realm requires a more sophisticated understanding." Maya nodded earnestly, making sure to input the wrong calculations again. "Thank you for your patience, first scholar. We're still trying to grasp these concepts." Deep beneath the colony's modest surface structures, in laboratories that would have put the Arcturians' vaunted science academies to shame, Maya's real work continued unabated. The quantum communication array was nearly complete, built piece by piece using technology that supposedly shouldn't exist for another century of human development. The Arcturians had found Haven's human colony exactly as they expected, struggling survivors of a primitive species, barely maintaining a functioning society. They never thought to look deeper, to question why these supposedly desperate refugees chose to settle on a planet rich in quantum-reactive minerals. Maya's comm unit buzzed softly, a message from Security Chief Jackson. Arcturian survey ship entering orbit, running Protocol Omega. Throughout the colony, hidden systems powered down, advanced technology disappeared behind false walls, and every human prepared to play their part. The greatest advantage of being considered primitive was that no one looked too closely at your failures. "First scholar," Maya said, injecting worry into her voice. "Our power systems are fluctuating again. We may need to shut down for maintenance." The Arcturian waved a dismissive appendage, typical of your technological level. "Very well, we'll continue the lesson another time." It moved toward the exit, adding, "Though I must say, your people's persistence is admirable, if ultimately futile." Once alone, Maya activated her secure terminal, connecting to the underground command center. Colony Director James Chen, son of the legendary Admiral Chen, was waiting with the latest intelligence. "The Arcturians bought it," Maya reported. "They're still convinced we're barely managing basic quantum theory." "Good," James nodded, "because we've just picked up something interesting." "Show her, Dr. Reynolds." A holographic display materialized, showing quantum oscillation patterns. "We detected these signals coming from the Andromeda Galaxy," Reynolds explained. "They matched the encryption protocols from Earth's pre-scattering database." Maya's heart raced. Another colony. "Better," James smiled. These patterns suggest they've developed quantum entanglement communication. They're looking for us, just like we're looking for them. The implications were staggering. If other colonies had not only survived but advanced to this level, the Coalition's attempt to contain humanity had backfired spectacularly. Instead of one advancing human civilization, they had created dozens, each developing along different paths, each learning from different alien species while appearing to learn nothing at all. Status of Project Phoenix? James asked. Maya brought up the secure files. The quantum drive is nearly ready. Unlike the desperate measure used during the scattering, this one is fully controllable. We can theoretically jump between galaxies without leaving a trace. Time to completion. 3 months, Maya said. The Arcturians' latest teaching session actually helped confirm some of our theories. They're so busy showing us basic principles that they never notice when we apply those principles in ways they haven't considered. James nodded, his expression thoughtful. The Arcturians call themselves the guardians of scientific knowledge, but they've stopped advancing. They're so convinced of their superiority that they've become stagnant. Their latest survey ship carries weapons that could level our colony, Maya pointed out. Weapons they'll never use because they don't see us as a threat, James countered. They think they're watching our species' last gasp, a failed civilization barely clinging to existence. That's our real weapon, their certainty. A new alert flashed across the display. The quantum oscillations from Andromeda were becoming more complex, forming a clear pattern. Maya's decryption algorithms went to work, and soon text appeared. To all scattered children of Earth, the seeds have taken root. The darkness has given us strength. When the light returns, we will rise together. James read the message twice, then turned to his staff. Send acknowledgement using the same protocols. Add this. The Coalition fought to clip our wings, but they've given us the stars instead. We are ready. As the message was encrypted and sent, Maya looked at the stars visible through the command center's hidden viewport. Somewhere out there, humanity's other scattered seeds were growing, learning, preparing. The Coalition had meant to contain humanity within one galaxy, believing they could control humanity's development. Instead, they had given humanity the ultimate gift, the chance to learn from multiple advanced civilizations while appearing to learn nothing at all. Each colony was a hidden dagger, waiting for the moment to strike. The network awakens. Commander Aisha Rahman of the Haven Defense Force watched through her obsolete telescope as another Arcturian battlecruiser entered the system. On paper, her entire fleet consisted of 3 aging patrol ships that could barely achieve orbit. In reality, dozens of advanced vessels lay hidden in quantum pockets throughout the system, waiting for the day they would be needed. Multiple quantum signatures detected, her AI reported privately through her neural implant, but not from the Arcturians. These are coming from everywhere. Aisha straightened. After decades of careful preparation, it was finally happening. Across 3 galaxies, humanity's hidden colonies were activating their quantum networks simultaneously. The Coalition's greatest fear, an independently advancing human civilization, was about to become their worst nightmare. Status of the Arcturian sensors, she subvocalized. They're detecting the quantum activity, but attributing it to natural phenomena. Their models don't account for the possibility of coordinated quantum communications at this scale. In her command center, deep beneath Haven's surface, Aisha watched as connection points began lighting up across the galactic map. Each one represented a human colony that had not only survived but thrived in secret. The Arcturians, the Scatheri, the Mercian, all the great powers of the Coalition had taken in primitive human refugees, never suspecting they were hosting architects of their own downfall. Director Chen, she called. You'll want to see this. James Chen entered the command center, his father's old military jacket worn proudly despite its apparent age. The jacket, like everything else about Haven's leadership, was carefully chosen to project an image of fading glory, of a people desperately clinging to their past. How many colonies are we detecting? He asked. 47 so far, Aisha reported. Each one apparently as primitive as we are. Each one having learned different technologies from their benevolent overseers. Each one ready. The quantum network hummed with encrypted data as 50 years of separate development began to merge. The Andromeda colonies had mastered stealth technology while appearing to struggle with basic cloaking devices. The Triangulum settlements had decoded quantum entanglement while asking elementary questions about particle physics, and Haven had perfected faster-than-light travel while their ships visibly limped through conventional space. Message from Admiral Chen's daughter in the Carina colony, Aisha's AI reported. They've completed their planetary defense grid. The Sktheri believe it's a primitive meteor detection system. James smiled. My aunt always did have a talent for misdirection. Status of Project Phoenix. Dr. Paddle reports the quantum drive is ready, Aisha said. We can begin coordinating with other colonies for the synchronized jump. A new alert flashed across her display. The Arcturian battlecruiser was approaching Haven's orbital space, no doubt for another routine inspection of the primitive human settlement. Right on schedule. Shall we maintain protocol? Aisha asked, though she already knew the answer. Of course, James nodded. Let them scan their hearts out. All they'll find is exactly what they expect. A struggling colony barely worth their attention. Through her neural implant, Aisha watched as Haven's hidden systems automatically adjusted, creating false readings that perfectly matched the Arcturians' expectations. The quantum network's activities were masked by what appeared to be natural background radiation, its complex patterns dismissed as random noise by aliens who couldn't conceive of humans operating at this level. New message coming in, her AI reported. Multiple sources, same content. The network is complete. Phase 2 initiating. James read the message and took a deep breath. Send acknowledgement. Add, let them sleep in their certainty. When they wake, they'll find the children of Earth have grown up. Throughout Haven's underground facilities, humans continued their work, maintaining their carefully crafted image of primitive struggle while preparing for the day when all masks would fall away. The Coalition had meant to keep humanity confined and controlled. Instead, they had created something unprecedented, a species that advanced not in spite of oppression, but because of it. Each dismissive lecture from an alien scientist had revealed their technological assumptions. Each patronizing inspection had exposed their security protocols. Each primitive human colony had become a silent observer, learning not just technology, but how their superiors thought. Incoming transmission from the Arcturian vessel, Aisha reported. They're requesting permission to conduct their annual technological assessment. Granted, James ordered, and informed Dr. Puddle to have her team ready with their usual questions about basic particle physics. Let's give them exactly what they expect to see. The quantum network hummed with hidden activity as humanity's scattered children prepared for their moment of revelation. The Coalition was about to learn that their greatest achievement, scattering humanity across 3 galaxies, had become their greatest mistake. Masks off. First scholar of lesser species rushed through the halls of the Arcturian High Science Council, his mandibles clicking in agitation. The data patterns made no sense. They violated everything the Arcturians knew about technological development curves. Emergency session call to order. Grand Scholar of all knowledge announced to the assembled council. First Scholar, present your findings. The holographic display activated, showing quantum activity readings from across 3 galaxies. Honorable Council, we have detected synchronized quantum fluctuations from every human settlement. The patterns suggest. He hesitated, knowing how impossible it would sound. They suggest coordinated quantum communication networks. Dismissive clicking filled the chamber. Impossible. Third Scholar of Primitive Studies declared. The humans barely understand basic particle physics. I personally oversee their education on Haven Colony. That's just it. First Scholar continued. I've analyzed the educational records from all human settlements. They'd been asking the same basic questions for 50 years. Not similar questions, the exact same questions, just phrased differently. Silence fell over the council chamber as the implications sank in. Meanwhile, aboard the EFS Phoenix, Haven's first true dreadnought, hidden in quantum space, Commander Aisha Rahman received the final confirmation. All colonies report ready. The Arcturians have detected our quantum network. James Chen nodded. Right on schedule. And the other coalition powers. The Scathuri are mobilizing their fleet toward the Andromeda colonies. The Mercian have placed their settlements under lockdown. They're all reaching the same conclusion at roughly the same time. Perfect. James activated the quantum comm. This is Director Chen to all colonies. Execute Phase 3. Across 3 galaxies, humanity's facade began to crack, not in panic or desperation, but in a carefully choreographed revelation of power. Hidden shipyards emerged from quantum pockets. Defense systems activated, and in high orbit above every human settlement, advanced vessels shimmered into view. In the Arcturian Council chamber, alerts blared as sensors detected the sudden appearance of unknown ships. Multiple vessels detected above Haven. A technician reported, his color scales showing panic. Configuration unknown. Power readings. Impossible. First scholars stared at the readings in disbelief. These ships, their quantum signatures match our theoretical models for advanced drive systems. Systems we haven't even built yet. Emergency transmission from Haven Colony. Another technician announced. The holographic display shifted to show James Chen, no longer wearing his carefully aged military jacket, but a pristine uniform of obvious advanced manufacture. Greetings, Honored Council, James began, his tone carrying none of the subservience they were used to. On behalf of the United Human Colonies, I want to thank you for your educational support over the years. Your lectures have been most illuminating. What is the meaning of this? Grand Scholar demanded. Your technology level was exactly what you expected to see, James finished. You taught us well, not just about physics and technology, but about yourselves, about how your certainty blinds you, about how your superiority complex makes you predictable. Across the quantum network, similar scenes played out. In Andromeda, the Scathuri fleet found itself surrounded by ships using stealth technology they had thought impossible. In Triangulum, the Mercian discovered their quantum lockdown systems had been quietly neutralized decades ago. Impossible, Third Scholar whispered. We monitored every development, restricted your access to advanced knowledge. You monitored what we wanted you to monitor, James replied. You restricted access to knowledge we had already gained. The Coalition scattered us across 3 galaxies, thinking to contain us. Instead, you gave us the greatest gift possible, the chance to learn from multiple advanced civilizations while appearing to learn nothing at all. First Scholar's analytical mind raced ahead to the implications. The quantum network, you've been sharing knowledge between colonies, each learning different technologies from different species, and combining that knowledge in ways none of you considered, James confirmed. You were so convinced of your superiority that you never questioned why we kept asking the same basic questions, why we never seemed to advance beyond a certain point. You saw what you expected to see, primitive humans struggling to grasp basic concepts. The display shifted to show similar scenes playing out across 3 galaxies. Human colonies revealing their true technological level in perfect synchronization. The Coalition's careful power balance, maintained for millennia, was crumbling in a matter of hours. We are not declaring war, James continued. We are declaring independence. The Coalition sought to prevent humanity from advancing independently. That effort failed 50 years ago. You just didn't know it until now. First Scholar watched as more ships emerged above Haven, their design unlike anything in Coalition records. They showed influence from multiple species technologies, but combined in ways that spoke of true innovation rather than mere imitation. What are your demands? Grand Scholar asked, color scales showing resignation. Demands. James smiled. We don't make demands. We're offering a choice. The Coalition can recognize the United Human Colonies as equals and open genuine diplomatic relations, or, he shrugged, you can continue to treat us as primitives. But I should warn you, we've gotten very good at exceeding expectations. Convergence. The quantum network pulsed with activity as humanity's scattered children prepared for their final act. From the bridge of the EFS Phoenix, Admiral Sarah Chen, aged but unbowed, watched the coordinates appear. After 50 years in stasis, preserved for this moment, she would finally see her plan reach fruition. All colonies reporting ready, Commander Raman announced. Quantum drives synchronized. The Coalition fleets are maintaining their distance. They're still trying to understand how we did it, James Chen said, standing beside his mother's command chair. How we advanced so far while appearing to advance barely at all. Sarah smiled. They're asking the wrong question. The real question isn't how we did it. It's why they never saw it coming. The quantum network displayed status updates from across 3 galaxies. Each human colony had emerged from hiding in its own way, revealing technological capabilities that matched or exceeded their former overseers. The Coalition's careful balance of power had been shattered not by force, but by revelation. Message from Earth, Dr. Puddle reported, her hands moving across the quantum controls. They're ready. Earth. The supposedly quarantined war grave that the Coalition had declared off-limits after the scattering. They had thought they were containing a defeated species. Instead, they had given humanity the perfect cover to prepare. Quantum signatures detected, Raman reported. Massive energy spike from the Sol system. The tactical display lit up as Earth's hidden fleet emerged from quantum space. Not refugees or survivors, but an armada that had spent 50 years preparing in plain sight, protected by the Coalition's own quarantine. Open channel to all Coalition forces, Sarah ordered, and activate the quantum beacon. The beacon's signal pulsed across space, its energy signature matching the one from 50 years ago. The same pattern that had scattered humanity's ships across 3 galaxies. But this time, it wasn't chaos. It was coordination. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Human Colonies, she broadcast. 50 years ago, the Coalition sought to contain humanity within 1 galaxy. You believed our ships were destroyed in a desperate attempt to escape. You were wrong. The quantum network hummed as every human colony activated their drives simultaneously. The Coalition fleets could only watch as space itself seemed to fold around the human settlements. We didn't scatter in desperation. Sarah continued. We scattered with purpose. Each colony learning, growing, preparing. You taught us your technologies while believing us too primitive to understand. You showed us your weaknesses while believing us too limited to exploit them. The quantum drives reached full power. In the space around each human colony, reality began to twist in familiar patterns. But most importantly, Sarah's voice carried across 3 galaxies. You taught us that true strength lies not in technological superiority, but in unity, in adaptation, in turning apparent weakness into hidden strength. James checked the final coordinates. All colonies report quantum alignment complete, ready for synchronized jump. Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of 50 years of planning reach its culmination. To all human colonies, execute final jump. Convergence protocol initiated. Space warped around each human settlement. The Coalition fleets scrambled to respond, but their weapons passed harmlessly through quantum space as humanity's colonies vanished. Not in random directions this time, but in perfect coordination. One by one, they reappeared in orbit around Earth. 47 colonies, each bringing unique technologies and knowledge gained from their time among different alien species. The scattered seeds of humanity, returning home not as refugees, but as architects of a new era. Coalition vessels are requesting communication, Raman reported, unable to hide her smile. Accept, Sarah ordered. Let them see what their attempt to contain us has created. The quantum network displayed images from Earth orbit. advanced ships of human design, incorporating technologies from across 3 galaxies. Not copied, but transformed. Not stolen, but evolved beyond their original concepts. The Coalition sought to prevent humanity from advancing independently, Sarah broadcast. Instead, you gave us the greatest gift possible: the chance to advance in 47 different directions at once. Now, we offer you a choice. Join us in genuine cooperation, or maintain your illusion of superiority. Either way, humanity will no longer hide. As the Coalition representatives began their response, Sarah looked at the tactical display showing Earth surrounded by its returned children. The scattering had been a gamble, a desperate plan to turn defeat into opportunity. But humanity had done what it did best: adapt, innovate, and turn adversity into advantage. The Coalition had labeled them primitive, had tried to clip their wings. Instead, they had given humanity the stars themselves, and humanity had learned to soar.